it's about how you have to learn to sort of accept yourself and accept others. And it's a wonderful story, but the thing that I like to promote about the show is it's very funny. It is chock full of really wonderful music, and it's also very I don't want to say dance heavy, but like in the vein of like Hairspray. Everybody knows the show Hairspray. This show sort of lends itself to that.
Okay.
It's set in a high school, parts of it, and it is a lot of fantastic dancing. Our choreographer's special. The kids have really just taken off with the dance and love it. And I can't wait to put it in front of an audience, to be honest with you.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? It is Tim here with the TMA Connection. It's your local podcast that is focusing on helping others through promoting their businesses, through promoting what they're doing to make a difference in the lives of others. And today we got a super special guest, a legend in the house. From the Bel Air High School years, he was a volunteer for 15 years there, whether it was through the Athletic Boosters or the Bel Air Drama Company. A little bit of both athletics and drama. Whew. He was a volunteer for the Forest Hill Rec Council for 12 years, and now he's the current president of Scottfield Theatre Company. And today we're here to promote a show that's coming up in the next few weeks.
Yes,
and
sir.
I'm excited. Chuck Hamrick.
How you doing, Tim?
Welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here. I really appreciate the opportunity. Love what you do, and excited to tell you a little bit about Scottfield.
Yeah, absolutely. A theater company that's been around for
just 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah, a lot of great volunteers and a lot of talent within the company that we established in 2017. Chuck Bowden, who was a BADC legend himself, was part of the founding group. Becky Teitelman, Alan Herlinger, they all had an idea to put this theater company together and did so. I was fortunate enough to be in the first production and then was asked to be on the board at that time.
Okay.
Was a wonderful experience for me. I loved the people. I loved the shows we were doing. I just thought this is something I can really wrap my head around and be part of, you know. And it was wonderful to be honest with you, to see things evolve as the company came into itself.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, just in existence for just 5 years, but we've really had some tremendous success.
That's amazing. I've always been just intrigued when you go to a performance, because we would go to a lot of the Bel Air Drama Company performances at the high school, and I never really got into drama or anything like that, but having an appreciation for the work and the everything that goes into show night, all the planning, all the preparation, all the orchestration of, it's almost like building a team and coaching a team and all these different things coming together to play the big game.
Absolutely. I can touch on that a little bit. One of the things that I find so exciting about doing theater is, you know, I'm well beyond my athletic days, but it is a team environment. It is a lot of moving pieces. It has to be planned for. You know, a lot of things happen before you even cast a show. You know, getting the rights to that show, understanding that's a business side, which I'm fortunate to have a little bit of experience with. But you know, getting the rights to the shows that people want to see, understanding, you know, what is it going to take to put that production on stage, and then as you move forward, then you need, you know, specialists that do lighting and sound and costuming and, you know, set design and all of that. And you have to put all those pieces into play, and they have to be scheduled accordingly. It seems as though when you go to a show, oh, that was cute or that was neat. But there are a lot of moving pieces, and we really strive to make it special where we do our shows.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. Tell us who are participating in these in your group at these different performances.
So with respect to the professional talent that we have at our disposal, we have choreographers and directors. I myself direct a little bit just because I love it.
Okay.
I don't have any professional background, but have learned so much throughout the years that I decided to take that on, and it has worked out well for me. We have high school students that have graduated, gone on to college. Some of them, they're successful. They don't come back. Some of them come back. They get regular jobs and still want to be a part of the theater life. A lot of those individuals get cast in our shows. We have people that simply just volunteer, see a need, watch our shows, approach us and say, hey, we'd love to be able to help. Yeah. Some people make monetary donations because they say we can't do anything. Some people want to, paint the sets or build the sets. It's been really wonderful, honestly, to be able to see so many people get involved. When we put the show actually in the performance space, we have a lot of high school kids that actually volunteer and want to learn something from people that have more experience. So, and sometimes we learn from them, to be perfectly honest with you. Sure. But those kids, they come in, they work with us backstage. They do what we call our tech work, moving our set pieces. A lot of them are in our shows too. They have a dual role.
Oh, wow.
So we have a really big network of people.
Yeah.
We have open calls for our casting, so anyone can be in a show. If you had an interest in being in a show, we'd encourage you to go to our website, see when the casting is. When we have our auditions, come out and auditions. We love to put new people in the theater.
Yeah.
And we find ways to make it comfortable for them. It could be a small role, and sometimes you find somebody has tremendous talent. They just never unleashed it, so to speak.
Yeah.
So, we really have everybody from high school to, we have some people that have been doing theater for literally 50 years.
Wow.
Some of them have as many as 100 productions that they've been in. And it's wonderful because I gain a lot of knowledge from those individuals just by accident almost, just by having a conversation with them and them telling me, this is what I did, or when we did that production. And it's really kind of cool to see them be able to live their best life and continue to do so. They're retired, and this is something that they get to do. It's just wonderful to see that continue. I know I have a future in theater because I see them doing it, and they're 75 years old. I'm thinking, hey, one day I'm going to be able to continue.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hopefully, if they'll have me.
Right. I'm sure they would. I'm sure it almost seems like it's a huge family of people.
Yeah. In fact, Scottfield, that's one of the things we promote. We say, come be part of the Scottfield family. We have in our current production, we have probably 12 or so new, I think maybe 13 new people that are never been a part of a Scottfield production. I like to think it's because they either came to a show and they were wowed, or they saw something that they wanted to be a part of. But, it's really nice for us to continue to build that family. We have a lot of people that have come back time and time again. Our current lead, Maggie Dennis, is a wonderful performer. She went to Penn State. She did some theater there. She did some dancing there. She now has brought our talents to Scottfield. She does other theater programs as well, but she's been a lead in our shows now. This is our third show. She was in a show we call it's Something Rotten, and then something everybody knows called White Christmas. Everybody knows that one. She played big lead roles and just a fantastic performer. So we have performers that are in their 70s. We have people right out of college. We have high school students that are dancing their butts off. It's really, it's everybody. It's a big family.
That's awesome. What are some of the productions that you guys have done in the past?
Oh, we've been very fortunate. One of the things I personally pride myself on is staying on top of what's fresh, what's new. Okay. We had sort of a motto that we wanted to live by, to try and get the newest and the greatest. And as a new company, that's not easy, but we keep our finger on the pulse of what's going to become available. There are several rights companies. I engage those rights companies and try and stay in touch with what's coming. We were very fortunate. Our very first ever production, we did Tuck Everlasting, and it's a musical. We chose that because, perfectly honest, we had some connections to the show locally for the professionals in Broadway. We were able to work those connections to Chris Miller wrote the music for the show, and he happened to know Becky Titleman, who was our choreographer and one of our founders. They were connected through college, and she was able to get him to allow us to have the rights. Nobody had ever done it, so it was a national community theater debut, and it was our first ever production. It was really crazy that we did
Wow.
that. But we had that success. It was a tremendous show. Every show sold out. Audiences were very receptive, and it was really a great springboard to put Scottfield on the map. At that point, we started looking at what we could do. We did Titanic the musical. Then did Mamma Mia. Mamma Mia had just come out. Nobody had gotten the rights to it. We were the first company to do it in Maryland, community theater to do it in Maryland. Again, wonderful production, just fantastic talent, and it was over the top. The audience reactions were great. We just did a show called Something Rotten, which a lot of Broadway people don't know. It was on Broadway for approximately 12 years, and it was just a hilarious show. It's now being done in many venues, but we were the first community theater to do that as well. So we've had some real luck getting some great shows. We've got some things hopefully coming that we can, I can't really announce, but it's exciting that we might be able to get those productions or get the rights to them. And, our current production is The Prom, and that show just closed on Broadway a couple of months ago. Okay. It is a very popular show. There are some we're not the first to do it, and there are other companies that are going to be doing it. But I can assure you, and we're sort of promoting our show this way, it's going to be the biggest prom in Harford County. We have a really fantastic, as I mentioned, a fantastic group of young performers. And this show in and of itself is a great story. It's an opportunity for us to do something that's right off of Broadway, and it's a great story. It's a great dancing. It's hilarious.
Any small synopsis you can give us?
Yeah, absolutely. The show is set in Middle America in Indiana, and it revolves around a young teenage girl who wants to go to prom, but she wants to take another young lady with her. And the locals are not having it. They're very upset because they're I guess, scared of the homosexuality. I don't know. I mean, it's this. I don't want to promote it as that's the storyline because there's a lot going on in the show.
Gotcha.
A lot of self-inflection, self-awareness. But Emma is the lead. That's played by Maggie Dennis. She wants to take her girlfriend to the prom. The PTA says no. And then to her rescue come these 4 Broadway stars. And these Broadway stars have sort of fallen on some hard luck, and they're looking to find a way to put their name back in the good graces of the public.
Okay.
So they see this as a cause célèbre. They see this as an opportunity to help themselves. So they make their way to Indiana, and through a funny set of circumstances, they start to find out a little bit about themselves. Our lead character finds out a little bit about herself. Her counterpart, Lizzie Dutter, is playing Alyssa, who is the girlfriend of Emma. She's wonderful. She had the lead in Grease at Phoenix Festival Theater, which she was great in that. I mean, it's just one of those opportunities where it's about how you have to learn to sort of accept yourself and accept others. And it's a wonderful story, but the thing that I like to promote about the show is it's very funny. It is chock full of really wonderful music. And it's also very, I don't want to say dance heavy, but like in the vein of like Hairspray. Everybody knows the show Hairspray. This show sort of lends itself to that.
Okay.
It's set in a high school, parts of it. And it is a lot of fantastic dancing. Our choreographer's special. The kids have really just taken off with the dance and love it. And I can't wait to put it in front of an audience, to be honest with you.
That's awesome. So when are we going to be seeing Prom, and where are we going to be seeing it?
Yeah, so to that point, we have done our performances at the Havre de Grace Opera House in the past.
Okay.
We are a Bel Air company, however, and we always strive to be able to do those shows here. The high schools are always been too busy, they're just getting on those schedules. It's really been difficult.
Sure.
We were able to, through an exhaustive effort, talk to Harford Community College, and we were able to have a partnership with them, and we're going to be performing this show for the first time in Bel Air at Harford Community College at the Chesapeake Theater.
Oh, wow. That's
fantastic.
A nice theater.
It's a very nice theater.
Yeah.
It's a little different. It's a round stage, which, it's very interesting. I'm directing the show. It's very interesting to, when you're putting people where they need to be and know that your audience has to see everybody. It's pretty cool. But we'll be at the Chesapeake Theater. The show runs April 21st to April 30th, weekends only. We have Friday, Saturday evening shows, Saturday and Sunday matinee shows.
Okay.
You go to the Harford University ticket site, and I think we're going to be sharing some information on the podcast at the end.
We'll put it up on the screen so that people can see the details.
But it's a very it's a beautiful theater. And interestingly enough, the theater is actually going to be remodeled. So we're kind of one of the last groups to be in there before they tear it down and start it over.
Wow.
But we're really looking forward to it. It seats well over 300 people. Love to see sold out crowds, because that energy that comes from the audience, there's nothing better to get the actors and actresses to really have a great time.
Very, very close and intimate too.
You can't get away from anybody in that particular setting. It's really good. And it's great viewpoint. It's stadium seating, plenty of accessible seating as well. So if that's a concern, we can always take care of those people.
Sure.
But you call the box office, they have tickets available, and it's a reasonable $20 ticket. We are the cheapest. We choose to make it a valuable or a value so that we don't exclude anyone from being able to attend. Most of the community theaters in the area are charging about $25. While $5 may not be a big difference, we think it is, and we like to keep our prices as best we can to make everyone and anyone that wants to see the show come. We do have a senior and a youth rate as well.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
It's exciting
fun stuff. Yeah.
I'm going to be there. We're going to be there.
I love it.
All right, man. Well, let's go down the final five.
Okay.
We like to roll it out. Some closing questions for you.
All right.
Put you on the hot seat.
I'm a little anxious.
Don't sweat it. Here we go. We'll keep it easy for the first one, all right?
Okay.
Favorite place to eat in Harford County?
Ooh.
You're going out with you and your wife, and it's just you guys, and it's a date, and
I
where are
love
you
to
gonna
eat,
go?
so there's a lot of choices there.
But you got to pick one.
Yeah, honestly, my favorite place to eat is always going to be where my wife wants to go.
Oh, of course.
Having said that, she'll always say, and I'm sure all the husbands out there can sympathize with this. Oh, it doesn't matter. Where do you want to go?
Right.
So typically, we really like more simplified. We're not really, we don't do a whole lot. She loves, one spot. Oh,
yeah, I know.
It sounds so ridiculous, but we go to Texas Roadhouse from time to time.
There we go.
Yeah, and she doesn't get the steak. She loves their salads and stuff, and
The bread and the butter.
oh yeah, yeah.
I could just feast off of that
yeah,
alone.
yeah. Let's get done so we can go eat.
Yeah, right. All right. What would be your favorite production to do that you haven't done yet?
Okay. This one's actually easy for me. One of my favorite productions that I got to witness and see live a couple of times and would love to perform it. It's very hard to get the rights for the show, but I love the musical Hairspray. I think it's really funny. There's a character, the Edna, who was the mother of Tracy Turnblad.
Yes.
I would love to play that part.
I could see that.
I'm not much of a cross-dresser, but I honestly would love to play that part.
I could see that for sure.
I love the comedy in it. I love the dancing. And the best part about Edna is she only dances a little bit because I'm not much of a dancer. But honestly, it's a production that and everybody in this area would love to do it.
Yeah.
If we got the rights to it, there would be some jealousy.
Sure.
But honestly, it's a wonderful production, and so many people in it.
Yeah.
And it's high energy, and it's also a great story. It has sort of a racial undertone to it.
Sure.
And acceptance, which is kind of like our show, The Prom, honestly. There's no racial undercurrent, but acceptance, inclusion, which is pretty cool. And I just think it's a wonderful show. It happened to be my daughter's favorite show when she was going through theater, and that re-sparked my interest. So it's sort of like that thing I have in touch with my in common with my daughter.
If anybody has connection to the rights to Hairspray on this podcast,
yes, absolutely.
Please give Chuck a call. All right, best piece of advice that you've ever received.
Okay. Well, I've done a lot of coaching. And I had a coach, I guess I was probably, I was about 18 or 19 years old. I was a bowler back in the day. I mean, I played a lot of sports.
Yeah.
But I also bowled, and I was very successful, actually.
Duck pin or 10 pin?
Duck pins.
Nice. Hillendale Bowling Alley was where I...
Yeah.
Yes.
I've been in all of them.
Yep.
I've traveled up and down the East Coast. I've been in tournaments. I've done really well. But one of my mentors in that area came to me and simply said, if you just smile, you'll have a better time. And I was like, what is he talking about? And I remember coming home that night. I talked to my mom, and I'm an 18-year-old kid. Nobody can tell me anything. I know what the world is all about,
Sure.
right? And I said to my mom, I said, I'm not sure I understood this. Phyllis Nickel was a wonderful lady. She said, you just got to smile and you'll have a better time. And I sort of took that and eventually became sort of a motto that I gave my kids when I was coaching football at Forest Hill. Or at Falston, excuse me. And I told them, hey, if you're not having a good time, why are you here? And the advice was, I could keep these kids and keep them having a good time and having fun, and they would come back for another year of that program. Versus if I'm hard on them and I'm pushing them too hard, they're going to quit and go play soccer or something else.
Yep.
So it was like, always keep them smiling.
Yeah.
And I pride myself on that. I try to do that all the time.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Games are meant to be played, and playing is supposed to be fun.
Amen.
There you go. Do you listen to any podcasts? Do you read any books? Is there anything? I usually get somebody to give me a podcast or a book recommendation.
I'll be honest with you. I do. I listen to your podcast because to be perfectly honest with you, that's how I reached out and I said, oh, this would kind of be neat to do. And I don't listen to a lot of podcasts, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Because of our knowing each other from years past, I was like, I got to give this a listen.
Yeah.
And you share on social media, and honestly, you've had some really great guests. I recommend your podcast to everyone.
Hey, let's go.
There you go. It's really that simple. Now, if I'm being honest, I don't read many books. I'm past my reading days.
Okay.
Love a good movie, though.
Okay.
I was a Cliff Notes guy in high school.
What's one movie that you could watch over and over again, never get tired of it?
Probably because of the athletic background, but the movie Rudy.
Yeah.
You know, if you can't get fired up watching that, I mean, came from nothing and made it work.
That's right. That's awesome.
Good stuff.
Yeah, man. All right, last question. If you could have your dream going back in time to be a young buck again, and you had the opportunity to be either a professional football player, which you've had football experience,
yes,
or you could be a Broadway star performer.
Ooh.
What would it be and why?
Okay, on the spot. Jeez. Well, I get football players make a lot more money than Broadway stars. That being said, I probably would choose the Broadway route, and I'll tell you why. Because it can last well into your older age, and also one of the things that I personally love about theater is the energy of the audience. If you go out and you put a good production on the stage, if I'm part of the directing team or the production team, I should say, I could sit back and watch those performers and watch that audience, and it just gets me all fired up and excited. Versus if you're a football player, every other play they're going to boo at you and say, "Man, you stink." I don't need that. I need somebody
more
to come.
Smiling and
smile more.
Smile more.
Smile, you'll have a good time. Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome. Well, Chuck, I want to acknowledge you, my friend. You've always had just a great energy around you. Knowing you for so many years, when both Kyle and Katie were back at Bel Air High School, and your the years that you just volunteered yourself to.
Always a good time.
It takes special people to make good things for our kids, and certainly you've done that. I've thoroughly enjoyed this interview.
Thank you, me too.
Again, the show Prom is coming up. The dates again.
April 21st through the 23rd, April 28th through the 30th, weekends only, those 2 weekends. You can get your tickets at the Harford County Harford Community College box office, or you can go online to harforduniversitytickets.com.
That's amazing. That's awesome. Are you going to go check out the show? I hope you do. If you haven't been following us yet, you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at The Markland Advantage. And we are also on TikTok. Do you guys have TikTok?
We do. I'm not the social media
You're not
authority. I can tell you, ScottfieldTheatreCompany.org is our website.
There you go.
We got Facebook. We do Instagram. We do TikTok. We're not as active on that as we need to. We're a bunch of old people. You know what I mean? But we'll make it happen, though.
But if you search Scottfield Theatre Company, you will be able to find them on all social media platforms. And again, follow us as well. And if you haven't subscribed to the podcast, please, what are you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button and help share this out, especially for Chuck here and his theater company. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you very much.
This has
Anybody
been
that
awesome.
comes to the show, make sure you say hi. Let me know you saw the podcast so I can let them know.
Fantastic. Until next time, folks, live your life to the fullest, and we'll see you soon. Take care.